All right, friends and fellow crafters, I hope you're ready for all this excitement because we are going to finish trees. Yay! But before we go to the table, I remind you that this is part 2 of the video. So if you haven't seen part 1, make sure to head over there and watch that first. So let's head to the table and finish up trees. Alright guys, to start we're going to use a dark green. This is like an ivy green, but you can really use any dark green. So here's my tree. I've spray painted it flat black, and I've got a sponge. I've weft the sponge, and I'm going to use this with the dark green and just kind of pat it on, stipple it on, and that gives a really nice shading effect with the black and the dark green there. So then we'll finish up the tree and we'll be done with that. Now I'm going to use a lighter green and just use my sponge again. And I'm going to stipple that on. And see how it gives a really nice leaf effect there without you really having to do much work. So really like that. Finish up the top and the bottom of the tree and I'll be set with that. Now I'm going to use a darker brown and paint the branches inside the leaves, inside the tree. So get all those, that hot glue detail we put in there. Right? And I'm going to use a tan and kind of blend it in with the wet brown. And that'll give a nice variance in the color of the branches. Almost like a painterly look. Then I'll do the same with the next layer. Now I need to do the trunks. So I'm going to do this similar kind of thing. I'm going to use a wider brush, of course. And I'll go into the trunk itself, paint it that dark brown, burnt umber brown. And once I get that covered, I will use my lighter tan, smaller brush, kind of put some highlights on there, kind of mix it into the brown. I really like that effect. So you're kind of doing highlights still while it's wet. Okay, and here I have another tree, and I've already painted brown. This is a 3-tier tree, and I'm going to use that tan, just kind of pick it out while it's still a little wet. Get a nice blend there. Really looks good. You don't want to totally blend it. Okay, now I have more of a dirt brown, right? Kind of a spicy brown. And I'm going to use this to do the base. Just dry brush the base with it. You want a different brown than the trunk. You don't want it to blend into the trunk. Then I'm going to use my darker green again. And I have those patches of grass that I put on there with the shavings, the pencil shavings, right? So I'm going to kind of base those with this darker green. I'm just using the same one I used on the tree. There we go, nice. And now that that's dried, I'm going to use this leafy green. It's a different lighter green than the one I use on the tree. I don't want to use the same one. So I'm going to highlight that on the grass and then do a little bit of highlight on the tree itself. It could be moss and stuff on the tree. So very nice, yeah. So now let's go to the table and check them out. Here we have some miniature for scale, and I think the trees came out really, really nice. The layers are just really super playable. You can put the miniatures on them, no problem. If you have your arboreal creatures or creatures that can lurk in trees, just perfect for using miniatures. You don't have to worry about dealing with real actual foliage. And let's take a closer look at one of these babies here. So I'll pull it up. I think the leaf texture looks really great, really, really nice. I got the bark texture from, I've done this with my other trees, just looks great. Glue gun works perfectly. I got the base with the grass and stuff on there, looks great. And these are just really solid trees with the sand in the center, gives them some nice weight to hold them up so they won't fall over when you put miniatures on them. Just came out really great, super cheap and easy to make. So there we go. There's our 2.5D Next trees. I like to use these clear storage bins to store my trees in. And the nice thing about these trees is they don't have any foliage, so you won't have all that stuff falling off the trees, mucking up everything. So there we go with a snap, and we're stored and ready to go. Hey, I hope you find these tips helpful. If you did, give your old DM Scotty a thumbs up, and that'd be a like.
Also, check out my Foreman Facebook group, a bunch of wonderful people on there. And if you do like these vids, consider tipping. There is a little tip thing on the video. You can click on that and tip directly to your DM Scotty. And if you want to go take it further than that, you can go to Patreon and become a supporter and a member of the family. I have a monthly magazine called The Crafter's Lair, which you'll have instant access to when you become a supporter. Take care. Have fun gaming.
I climbed up the tree. Nothing can touch me up here. Nothing. Oh, fudge.